Hello, my friends. This is Rabbi Aharon Dobinsky coming to you today from the holy city of Yerushalayim in the beautiful state of Israel. And it is a beautiful day today. Now you got your weather report for the day. Now, usually I try to give you something totally original, something that's just me that I'm sharing with you. But this week, my Rav posted an old Hasidic tale, and I was so moved by it that I wanted to share it with you. So please excuse me if you've already heard this tale before. You'll get to hear it again, and it's worth hearing again, because the moral at the end of the tale is worth the time that's taken to listen to the tale. It seems there was a fairly poor man living in ancient Russia. Well, not ancient, but at least a while back. And he was told by friends of his about how you could make money smuggling alcohol from Poland across the border into Russia. And although he was not a very rich man, as a matter of fact, he was a very poor man, it didn't appeal to him because the consequences of getting caught doing something like that were horrific. Jail time, hard labor, a really, really miserable time from now on. So he said, thought about it, and the more he thought about it, the more he thought, nah, I just can't do something like this. Well, as a little bit of time went by, people kept encouraging him. People he knew, you ought to give it a try. You could use the money. Look how tough it is for you and your family. This could help you to live a better life and things. And the more they talked, the more he thought about it. And the more he thought about it, the more he thought, well, I have 4 daughters. And one of them is right about at marriageable age, and I have nothing to marry her off with, let alone the other 3. What am I going to do? So as he thought about it in his own mind, he was able to rationalize that maybe this was something he could do. So he thought about it, and he came to the conclusion he would give it a try. But he couldn't just do it because going across the border, you're going to get caught. No matter what you try to bring it in, they're going to catch you, and you're going to go to jail. So this was his idea. A pine box and a funeral. So he went out and bought the cheapest pine box he could buy, loaded it onto a cart, hired a couple of mourners at a real good price. It's not hard to find people who will just walk along with you and do basically nothing for a few dollars. So he did this. So he went the first time, he crossed the border, Russia, into Poland. He was no problem to find the goods that he wanted. He found the Polish alcohol. He packed as much of it as he could into the pine box. Well, bottles would rattle, so he didn't want that to happen. So he also bought some Polish tobacco while he was there and stuffed it between the bottles so they wouldn't rattle. Then, taking all the courage he could muster, he took his little troop back from Poland into Russia. Well, he gets to the border, and the Russian border patrol says to him, "Oh, what's in the box?" He said, to one of our dear deceased brethren. He said, "Open the box." And the man is beside himself. What am I going to do if I open the box? He's going to know what I've got in here. He says, wait, but. What about respect for the dead? You have no respect for the dead that you would have me open this up and display a dead person before you? Well, to be very honest, the constable was not really thrilled about the idea of seeing a dead Jew. So he said, nah, just go on and get out of here. And they made it. They made it back. And when they sold it, as reported, he made quite a profit on it. Now, quite a profit was very, very important in his life as he was going forward. So he thought, I could probably do this again and get away with it. So he tried again. And he changed absolutely nothing. He did exactly what he did before. He hired a couple of people to walk along as mourners. He took the casket. He got over to the other side. He bought the Polish alcohol, more Polish tobacco, packed it into the casket. Coming back, same border patrol guy stops and says, "Open it up." Again, he's beside himself. He doesn't know what to do if he opens it up. Says, "What about respect for the dead? You would actually help me open up this." And to make a long story short, he was able to get through. Well, it seemed to be working so well, he thought, why not just keep doing this? Because the more I do it, the more I'll make, the more of a situation I'll be able to create to be able to handle the weddings for 4 daughters. So he kept it up. But it got to be kind of routine, you know. Sometimes, like our lives, tend to be kind of routine in the way we live them out day to day. And he just kept doing what he was doing to the point where it became a little less regimented each time. To the point where actually, when they were getting to the border, but just before the border, the people who were his mourners and he were joking and laughing and having a good time. And they were doing this. Then they get to the border, they'd be solemn, and of course they would pass through because the same guy lets them through. Well, this all worked very fine until one day the supervisor of the border patrol happened to be there when they were coming through. Well, they didn't know he'd be there. They were just expecting the guy who always lets them through to be there. So when they got there, he said, "Open the box." And of course, what did they say to him? What, no respect for the dead? You would have us open this box to display one of our dead brethren to you? Well, the supervisor was pretty smart, and he had them open the box anyway. Well, you can imagine. They opened the box, he saw the whiskey, he saw the tobacco, all this contraband, and he took them into custody. And they're crying and crying, "How can you do this to us? We have families, we have responsibilities. If you put us in jail, we can't take care of any of these things." And the supervisor looked at him and said, "You know something? You should have thought of that before, when you were coming to the border and you were all laughing and having a good time. You should have been doing your crying back then, so that we know that this is truly a funeral. Now you have to do your crying now." Now, what is the point of this story? The point of the story is crying is important before the fact, not after the fact. When we get ready this week to go in to Kol Nidre, we go in to all of Yom Kippur, all the solemnity, the last day as we're pleading with Hashem, please, to give us a good year. And we're crying and we're crying and we're crying. Or maybe we're not. A lot of people, it becomes routine. We did this last year. We did this the year before. 3 years ago we did this. 10 years ago we did this. It's just worse sometimes. And that's dangerous. It must be as important today to us as it was on the very first time we ever did it. Because we have to remember that we need to show Hashem we're sorry for what we did. We made mistakes, but we've learned from our mistakes, and we're going to do better. In this coming year, if you'll just give us the chance, we'll show you how much better we'll do. We'll show you through all of Elul, which we've had the chance to do. And now the last week, Shabbos Shuvah is this Saturday. We have our last chances to say, Hashem, please. We did wrong. We know we did wrong. We are so sorry. Please forgive us and give us another year that we can show you how much better we can do. That's how we do it. We do the crying now, so we don't have to cry later as to why are you doing this to us? Why is my life not what I would hope it would be? Why is my parnasa not what I would hope it would be? Why is my shalom bayit not what I would hope it would be? Why is health issues in my family and myself not what they should be? Well, the answer is because of this year, we didn't take it seriously enough, perhaps, and we do need to take it seriously. In the words of the constable, of the supervisor, we need to do our crying now, beforehand, so that we don't have to do our crying later when it will do virtually no good. So, having said that, I wish you all a good Shabbos. I wish you all a Gemar Chatima Tova. You should be inscribed for a year of good, and you should go from strength to strength to strength. Parnasa should be more than you can even imagine. Your health and your family's health should be all that you hope it would be. Your shalom bayit should be perfect. Everything in your life should go the way you would like it to be with Hashem's help. And don't forget for a minute, it's always with His help. So have a good Shabbos. Gemar Chatima Tova. All the best, my friends. God bless.